Hey guys, welcome back. I promised you an update when I got my first paycheck with my deduction and when I had officially enrolled in the infertility coverage of Aetna. So that's where we're at today. Last we picked up, I had worked 3 months, averaging a 20-hour week of shifts to qualify for infertility benefits. I had spent a month selecting my plan, and as of February 1st, I had started receiving those benefits. About the 5th or the 7th of February, I called in to opt into their infertility coverage. I knew that was something that I had to do. I just, in the craziness, I don't know why I didn't sign up on like a day one, but I didn't. And I think I said in my last video, it was super painful, took really long, and was not a great experience. And then I was told that I would get a call back from a nurse where I assumed I'd have to rehash everything that we had just talked about. So here I am, like a week and a half later, waiting for that phone call, dreading calling back because it's going to be the worst, and still haven't gotten a call back. So before I sucked it up and just called the Aetna number to try and get to the right department, I thought I'd give a Starbucks advocate a call and also my financial advisor at my clinic to see if they could help me get to the right department without going through like 412 people who don't know what I'm talking about. I first spoke to the Starbucks advocate, and he basically told me that he didn't have a number for me. And then I spoke to my financial advisor, and she had told me that all the pre-authorizations and everything had been submitted, and that if anything was still missing, that the nurses would have told her, so that she was under the impression that I had done everything on my end, which was a bit confusing. And she advised me to just give it another day. And if we didn't have our pre-authorization by Monday, then we could call in and see if there was anything we could do to expedite that. And in her infinite wisdom, her name is Camille, my financial advisor, just a few short hours later, we got the approval for our treatments, which was wonderful. So yeah, she was right. I didn't need to do anything further. Everything went through, everything looks good. And just to recap, I had been concerned that one of the reasons I was concerned with Aetna is because they typically require 6 IUI cycles before they will cover IVF. So we had only done one, and we don't want to spend what little of our coverage we do have on pointless IUIs because our issue is male factor. And when morphology is so bad, doesn't matter if the eggs get there. I mean, if the sperm gets there, it doesn't matter because if they can't penetrate the egg, what are they going to do? So that's basically what my fertility doctor advocated for in my pre-approval letters that she sent them. I don't even know the technical term. And everything was approved, IVF with ICSI, and I did ask Camille to submit papers for cryo that typically isn't covered and isn't mentioned as covered by Aetna, but the advocate suggested requesting approval because you can't do IVF without cryo. You know, it's really, I mean, what, they don't want you to put like 8 eggs in your body, so assuming that they want to save money on another retrieval, they need to cover cryo. And then the advocate said that they had had some luck in previous times, but that it wasn't a guarantee. But I'm all for, my motto is like, if you don't ask, you don't get. So I always ask. Yeah, and then I did have one other hiccup that I spoke to the advocate about. My first paycheck came with my deductions. I was expecting my deductions to be $172 a paycheck. 4 of those dollars are vision, so $168 for my deduction for my premium. That's the word. And it was 300 and something, 334, whatever it was. So double, exactly double. So I was concerned there was a mistake, and I called in. And long story short, it wasn't a mistake. It has to do with how they bill. It's super confusing, and I'd happily explain it to you if you want that kind of detail, but to be honest, it's a crock. So what I'm trying to get at is just expect your first paycheck to include both deductions for your first month. Because that's the gist of what they tried to explain to me, is that typically in a month you have 2 paycheck deductions. And since I missed the first paycheck of February, that they both came out in the second paycheck of February. Let's just leave it at that. So I was super surprised. My paycheck was super tiny. So fortunately for me, it was just unfortunate, not shattering. But if that is going to make a difference to you, make sure you plan accordingly. So just wanted to make sure I gave you guys that heads up, and that things are moving along, and I start in about 9 days with injections. Next update, I imagine, will be when I get my IVF meds. I'll let you guys know what my out-of-pocket was, what all I got. If you're interested in my protocol and my amounts and stuff, I'll gladly do that. And yeah, I guess we're getting the show on the road. Very exciting. So I'll keep you guys posted, and thanks for tuning in. Bye.